$224,000 nightmare. The only thing I'm thinking of is that song by Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare. But what nightmare am I talking about? Check it out. Headline, going to go broke. Condo owner hit with a $224,000 assessment. Local 10 News right here, where they investigated, said the situation is leaving many unable to sell or afford the staggering cost. Right here they say, I don't know how we are going to live or where we are going to live. We can't afford it and we are going to go broke, especially with the special assessment that has been levied on us. And if that's not bad enough, this gets piled onto it also. Right here they say, on top of the monthly maintenance that's gone from $1,500 to $3,000, the monthly maintenance is doubled, $3,000 a month, okay? And now you're going to be hit with this assessment too. But $224 sounds like a bargain compared to what Local 10 News found out. They said where that place where they live, they've seen it as high as $400,000. Are more people going to gravitate towards these single-family homes and townhomes instead of the condos? See, if you get into the townhome, you're out of this, okay? It solves that problem, okay? So what we see, but those condos have those views, right? The beach, up here you've got the river, St. John's River, and then you got the beach views and all that. So that's what the people want. You know, I mean, geez, I'm going to be covering more of all this. Tonight we're going to go look at some of those condo numbers. Tonight also I'm going over all these other numbers. We're going to look at what sold in the last 7 days. Going to look at the active listings. That's your inventory. Going to take a look and see how many new construction homes sold in the last 7 days. What is the new construction inventory? Take a look also how many percentage of homes and stuff that people withdrew their listings that expired. Going to also take a look at how many active listings are in foreclosure status. Did that number go up or down? Hey, you know what? My name's Tom Kerr. I'm the host of this show, Bubble Watch, and we're in season 3, and this is week 17 where I cover all this. I'm just a regular guy who happens to be a real estate agent up here in North Florida, and I bring you into the back end of my MLS every week to show you this. Something else I'm going to cover tonight and look at tonight. I'm going to go over a comment that was left on one of my videos, okay? And it was kind of about me, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm just going to explain because it looked like the person writing it just didn't understand where I'm coming from on things. So I'm going to explain that tonight, and that'll be in my editorial there right before I do houses of the week. But right now, let's look into the back end of my MLS and start off with those active listings. Okay, here we are in the back end of my Northeast Florida MLS, and we're going to start off with those active listings. Before I do, I want you to focus right here on this part, right there where it says View Results. As I click on these different statuses, then you'll see the results of those numbers, and it'll show up right here. All right, so let's start off with the active listings. That number is 9,511, and that is your inventory. Okay, next we're going to look and see what sold in the last 7 days. That number is 555. What I'm going to do now is export all that, and it's going to give me a lot more than what we're looking at right here. Okay, next we're going to take a look at active under contract. That number is 1,169. Now, these are the ones that are under contract with contingencies, so they'll have a contingency, could be for financing, inspections, anything like that, appraisals. Next, we're going to take a look and see how many went pending in the last 7 days. That number is 361, and when you add up this and the active under contract, that gives you the total under contract. Pending is when their contingencies have gone away, and so that's when they turn to that status. However, not just because they go pending doesn't mean they will sell. Okay, next we're going to take a look and see how many people withdrew their listings in the last 7 days. That number is 74, and these are people who, it's still an active listings, it just can't be sold. And they take it off the market temporarily, usually for reasons like maybe somebody's sick in the family, or they're working, or they're going to do some repairs. Next, we take a look and see how many expired in the last 7 days. That number is 281, and this is different than the withdrawals in that these expired, they did not sell, and so now they are off market. Okay, next we're going to look and see how many of the sold homes were new construction homes. That number is 151. And next we're going to take a look and see how many homes that are new construction are active listings. That would be the inventory of new construction homes. That number is 2,235. Okay, next we're going to take a look and see how many of these active listings are in foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, and short sale. So we're starting off with the foreclosure numbers. That number is 176. Okay, next we're going to take a look and see how many are pre-foreclosures. That number is 21. And next we're going to take a look and see how many are short sales. That number is 33. All right, now I'm going to take all that data and I put it into it. Well, I export it out like I showed. It comes out in an Excel spreadsheet. It looks like this, and it's just a mess, hard to read. So I clean it up and put it into an easier to read Excel spreadsheet that I have, so we can track these numbers back from the previous weeks and also the previous years and see, you know, what the real numbers were at that time. Okay. Now what we're going to do is while all that numbers are crunching, we're going to take a look and see what those interest rates did. Well, by the way, I'm not outside today. It's pouring down rain out there, so I had to do my show from inside. But either way, I'm getting the show done tonight. Hey, let's take a look at those rates and see what they did this last week. All right, here we look at the 30-year fixed rates, and we look over the course of the week, and every chart here is going to start off here at the bottom, as this one was, we ended off last week at 6.37%. Over here, you see the arrows, green down, red up, and we see we had a couple of red up, small, and then some green arrows down. So we ended up at 6.35% for the week. So we did go down, not much, but at least it was down. But then when you look over here at the prior year, this column, I mean, it's down quite a bit from last year. So things are better, even though they may not feel it. Okay, next we look at the FHA. Last week it was 5.75, and this week ended up at 5.72. And then look at those rates last year. Okay, so this again is an improvement, and we are definitely into the fives right now on the FHA rates. Okay, here's the VA rates. 5.74 was last week. We ended up at 5.75, so this actually slightly went up a little bit. But still a lot down from last week, and of course this one is definitely into the fives also. All right, well, we see those FHA and VA rates are definitely going in the right direction. They're now in the fives, okay? High fives, okay, but they are in the fives. And when you look at last year, I mean, it's gotten better, all right? So, I mean, it is improving. We just got to see if the prices start to drop a little more. We see it, hey, we see all the time, every week, the percentage that's sold below list is always bigger than the rest of them. So, but they could be starting at a high price too. We'll see that. All right, you know, I get calls all the time about how, like, you know, my videos don't show all the doom and gloom and stuff. Well, you know what? If it's happening, I'll show it. But I get the real numbers here. People are always calling me about, you know, just the market, or, you know, looking to buy a house, or no, you know, just advice on what to do. Some of them are even under contract with a house already and asking me for some questions about stuff. And give me a call anytime. That's fine. Hey, now let's take a look at those Excel sheets. All right, here we are into the Excel charts. Now, since I get so many people new to the show every week, let me just quickly explain. Right here in the yellow column here, where you see here in the middle, this is the current week, okay? We're week 17, all right? And then we're gonna have all these numbers are, as you see over here on the side, they tell what they are: active, sold, active under contract, pending, and so forth, okay, for that week. The yellow over here was the previous week, okay? And if I actually move it, there we can kind of see, okay, what happened even 2 weeks back, all right? Now, over here on the white column there, that is last year's. Now, these are the exact numbers that I take every week, and I put them in a chart, and I just pulled out, those were the numbers that we pulled last year. YOY is the percentage and difference between the years. SFH over here is just where I pull the single family homes out of the mix and just show them separately. All right, let's start off with this week here. First thing is active listings, 9,511. And as you can see, you can compare with the other with the other weeks there, we saw that we are down in listings. Ruh-roh. Okay, that isn't supposed to be happening, but it did. All right, homes sold, 555, about the same as last week, okay, but up from 2 weeks ago. Active under contract, 1167, that has fallen. Pending went up a little bit, 361, so the total under contract is 1,530, which is down for these last 2 weeks in a row. Withdrawals are 74, expireds 281, and new homes sold 151. So we see a drop in the new homes where we didn't really have much of a drop overall, but the new home sales did have a significant drop from last week. New homes active listings is 2,235. In the orange here shows the percentage of sales that are new homes. So it is down from last week's 31.65. This week it's 27.21. Quickly over here to the single family homes. You can see here active 7,051. So that is down from last week. So that means the inventory has dropped there. 430 sold, so up a little bit of single family homes. 931 under contract, 285 pending, brings us to 1216 total under contract, and that is down also for the last couple weeks. Withdrawals 60, expired 207, new homes sold 110, so a drop there. Even though, you know, like I said, the others went up, we did have a drop here. All right, new home active under single family homes, 1,728. The percentage sold new homes also dropped here to 25.58. Okay, how did people pay for those homes? All right, as we see here, over 1/4 paid cash, so it's up a little bit. Conventional up a little bit too to 41.44. FHA dropped 16.5A, but VA went up a couple, and others actually dropped too, and that probably will result from interest rates dropping, where the others should start going down more if the interest rates do go down. All right, the foreclosure numbers. Now these are active listings that are statused in foreclosures, okay? These aren't total foreclosures at all, because some people don't list their house to try to sell to get out from under the foreclosure, as I recommend. They don't listen to me, but some do, and they'll put their house on the market, get out of it, so they don't get that black eye. All right, foreclosures 176, that's down. Pre-foreclosures 21, up 1. Short sales up 133. Total 230, so overall total is down. So again, the foreclosure stuff, you know, there's less and less. You know, right now we're not seeing that dramatic increase that we thought we would. Okay, here we look at the homes that sold under list, at list, and above list, the percentage. Okay, the percentage of homes that sold under list, 76.04, so just down slightly. Homes that sold at list, up. And homes that sold above list, down, okay? So that gives you your numbers right there, you see. So the trend is, okay, less of them going for above list price and more at below or at list. And of course, everything depends on what that list price is. If that list price is ridiculously high, then we can see an increase in the homes that sold under list. Okay, here we look at the pricing categories and the percentage that sold in those. Homes that sold in the 500s jumped up this week to almost 27.5. Homes that sold in the 400s dropped slightly. Homes that sold in the 300s, okay, that there dropped a little bit. Homes that sold in the 200s increased, and homes that sold below 200 down. So that we are seeing that homes that sold in the 200s and 500s is our sweet spot now, where before it was the 300s and 500s. So are some of those 300s just selling for just under 300 in the upper 200s? Could be. Over here on the right, we show you the new homes, how many units sold at that. So 42 at over 500. 500 and above, 23 in the 400s, 42, even number in the 300s, 44 in the 200 range for the total of 151. So again, we see there the most now is starting to be the ones in the 200 range. Okay, now we look at the new homes that sold the percentage under list, at list, and above list. So 72% sold under list, so that's up slightly. Homes that sold at list, we see a pretty good jump there. So where did it come from? It came from the homes that sold above list. That number dropped, okay, quite a bit. All right, now what I'm going to do is what is called MLS Advantage, and everything I've been showing you now has been in the Northeast Florida MLS, which is the largest MLS board up here in Northeast Florida. But there's also some smaller boards that cross-sell, okay? And I cross-sell too, we all do, okay, because of the internet. Now, what I do is this MLS Advantage combines these 9 counties into the sold numbers, and we're going to take a look and see. It gives us a real broad picture of what's sold up here, so we'll really see what's going up and down. And also, I break it down by counties for you so that you can see how many sold in Clay County, how many sold in St. Johns, Nassau, and so forth. So right now, let's go look at that MLS Advantage. Okay, here we are in the back end of the MLS Advantage. Okay, now we're going to look at those 9 counties: Baker, Union, Bradford, Clay, Nassau, Duval, St. Johns, Flagler, and Putnam. All right, so we go over here and we hit this search button. And the number is 788. Okay, now I put them into the counties, like we said after we looked at that total there, and this is how it works out for the counties. Baker County 4, Union 2, Bradford 5, Clay at 68, just down 1 from last week. Nassau 71, up 1 from last week. Duval County 288, St. Johns 192, they dropped. Flagler 132, we had an increase there. Putnam also came up with a nice increase to 26 for the total of 788. And just a reminder to everybody that this Excel spreadsheet is available for download from my weekly newsletter. If you subscribe to the weekly newsletter, it comes out on Tuesdays. You'll get a link to this. You also get a link to the MLS sheets for the houses of the week. And when we look at the main log here, you can see this goes all the way back when I started this show back there May 19th of 2022. All right, real quickly, I'm just going to go through the condo numbers here, and a lot of times you can just scan. It's basically the same as the other there, as you see all the statuses on the side. And then these are the numbers, as you can see, starting here for week 27, and then all the previous weeks back. So this week here, 27 of the condos. They don't go by the same week, season 3 and week 17 like I do with the others because I started the condos later. So this is the 27th week of the first season of the condos right here. So we start off with active 1110. So you see it's just down 1. The sold's down a few to 37. Active under contract 102, pending 12. Total under contract 114, withdraws 8, expired 44, no new condos sold, and 9 new condos active. And then here we see how everyone paid for those condos, and you can see that surprisingly there we've got the cash and conventional are pretty neck and neck. FHA none, VA just over 8 and almost 3 for other. Over here on the side, whoop, wrong numbers. There we go. And this shows how many units sold for those type of financing: 16 cash, 17 conventional, none FHA, 3 VA, and 1 other. All right, we also look at the foreclosures on these. These are the ones that are active listings that are in foreclosure status, and you can see it jumped up a couple total for the week from last couple of weeks. All right, here we look also at the condos that sold under list, at list, and above list, and we see that those that sold under list actually dropped quite a bit from last week, okay, down to 83.78. Those that sold at list up some. Condos that sold above list actually jumped. There was none last week, and we have some this week. And when you look at the numbers over here on the right, you see the total units: 31 under list, 4 at list, and 2 above list. All right, here we look at the condos in the price categories. 500 and up jumped up to 18.92, almost 19%. Condos in the 400s jumped up also from last week to 8.11. Condos in the 300s still the same also. Condos in the 200s, okay, that's still strong at over 32%, and condos below 200s strong at over 32%, but down from last week. Over here on the side is the amount of units sold in those categories. All right, nothing new in the new again this week, so we move on. Okay, this here we look at the total stories. Okay, the number of condos total story because of the new law that is 3 stories or above that they're affected. We look just for grins to see if there's any trend with people buying condos that are 1 or 2 stories. Haven't seen a real big difference, but we're tracking it anyhow. So here you see 4 were 1-story condos. Complex. Now it's not the condo itself, it's the whole complex being, 3 stories or above. So it's a 1-story complex, 2-story complex, 3, and so on. And here you can see the numbers, and I'll scroll down for you. All right, and because of the age of the condo matters, they're 25 years around the coast or the waterways and 30 years more inland. So we look at the condos, the years, and what stories they had. So as you can see, these first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I'm not even going to count. All the first and second stories, you know, those are the ages, which wouldn't matter for them because they're not affected. But when you start getting down into the 3 stories and above, then the age matters. And so I show, you know, one of them was 1999, one was in 1973, another 1974, and so on. And I'll just scroll down for you. All right, what counties were these condos sold? As we can see there, there's the numbers, and there's the counties on the right, then the numbers that sold in those counties. This one here is where I look at the difference with the condos that sold below list price to show you how much below list price they sold. And we're starting off with the largest one was $74,000 below list price. And over here you see what the original list price is and then what it sold for in the other column. And I'll just scroll this for you also. Hey, if you like the way I'm putting this show together and the way I put all the numbers together for you, then give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, hit the subscribe button because I got a lot more videos than just these market videos. When you check out my channel, there's plenty to look at, especially my Sunday night show where I compare new homes versus used homes. Hey, all right, we're speaking of homes. Now we get into the houses of the week that I call it, where we look at a house that's sold below list and a house that's sold above list. Also, same with a condo. And then I look at what they paid for it, what they sold it for, the appreciation on it. Also look at the price per square foot. Okay, but before we get to those houses of the week, let me talk about a comment that I got on one of my videos. I think it was last Friday's show. And this person here is just, I think, just wanting to know, you know, where I'm at. He doesn't know where I am on these issues when he watches the show. So I'm going to show you the comment, and then I'm going to go over some of the things because he has mentioned a few things, and let me explain where I'm coming from. All right, right here you can see it's a pretty long comment. So he took some time to write it, and so he definitely, you know, had some concerns. He says here that he feels that Tom has a bias to higher home prices, even if they may be counterproductive to a financially solvent homeowner and contribute to continued devaluation of the U.S. dollar. I don't feel like he gets excited when the prices drop or the sales decline, which is advantageous to buyers. All right, I don't know where I don't know where the part about bias to the higher prices comes from, because in this show, I show both. I show the high price, just like what's coming up, the homes of the week. I show the ones that sold below list. I even highlight there, show how many sold below list, okay? The percentage, like, and when it goes up, I seem to get more excited about that just because the number amazes me. So I don't know about the bias part. Okay, the part about me getting excited when the prices, you know, come down or, you know, the sales drop. Well, let me tell you something. If the prices were to come down more, I'd have more sales. Okay, so I don't know where that's coming from. I mean, yeah, I'd like to see prices come down. More people can afford houses and get into them. So, yeah. Now, getting excited when sales are down? No, not really, because I am, you know, a real estate agent, and that's where I make my livelihood from buying and selling houses, you know, helping people get into homes. So if sales are down, well, no, that's not good for me either. So yeah, I don't see a problem with me not being excited about that, you know. I know what the point he's trying to make is that it's advantageous to the buyer, so it's like I'm not, you know, cheering on, you know, the buyers out there maybe. But think about it though, if the prices come down, okay, start coming down, are more buyers going to get into it and then drive the prices back up? We don't know. Nobody's been able to tell me for sure, and I haven't seen anything. You know, everyone gave me timelines, but I haven't seen, you know, this so-called crash yet that's happened that was supposed to. Doesn't mean it can't happen, and I'll report it if it does, okay? I show you the numbers every week, where they're at. All right, let's check out some more. All right, here he says he is reporting weekly data as he pulls it from the MLS or select news articles he chooses to highlight. Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. I do pull the data out of there, and you know, I highlight what I choose. I don't, Then he goes, all of which seems to ignore risk of purchasing a home in a, I say he, it could be a she, I don't know who it is. All of which seems to ignore risk to purchasing a home in Florida, especially a city like Jacksonville in the post-pandemic area. It would be good to see more of a balanced analysis when it comes to single-family homes and risk associated with buying them from existing inventory or from new inventory. And then also which new builders in the area have a good, better, best reputation for product quality, service after sale, and so on. Yeah, a lot of that information would be nice and to do to look into all of that. It's just, you know, the risk, I understand. The risk with a used home is obvious. I mean, things could be happening behind the walls you don't know about. Some people say that's with new homes too and all, but you know, with the new home, everything's under warranty, where used homes, it's not necessarily the case. But to get all that data on the homes and stuff, look, this show right now here takes me like 8 hours to put together. I don't have the time to do that much research to do all those comparisons, so this show doesn't feature that part of it. I just show the numbers and what they are, and then, you know, you do your due diligence as far as looking. But, you know, with the builders, I mean, you got to be careful, because it's the same builder, if it's a national builder, some cities may be better than other cities as far as the reviews and what's going on. So if you see bad reviews, look at what city they're from. You know, it may not always be from the city that you're in. All right, then one last thing. He goes, many of us are investors, but I'm sure there are families watching this program. Just don't get caught thinking you're on the hot seat to buy. I think there's a lot who would agree you are absolutely not. I got a lot of people watching this show. I got a lot of realtors watching this show. Everybody's watching the show, and investors too. But the show really isn't geared towards investing, okay? It's just giving you the data for you to figure out for the average person going out to buy or sell their home, okay, and what to do. So, you know, and I hate the term that the home, and if you've watched my shows, you know I hate the term that this is your biggest investment. No, it's not. It's your biggest purchase, okay? Unless you're in the business, okay, of reselling homes like that and turning them over and flipping them, which some people are, but it's a place to live. You need a place to live, whether you're renting or buying or something like that, or living with somebody. You need a place to live, and it's an expense. It's your biggest purchase. I just don't like that term. It's your biggest investment, and everyone knows it. You can try to convince me otherwise. I'm not going to change my mind on that. And then the part here, the last part here, don't get caught up thinking you're on the hot seat to buy. Well, I don't know how long this person's been watching my shows, and if you've been watching for any length of time, you know I come through different scenarios and things, and I don't, maybe this was referring to, like, there's times when I showed, like, some people are saying, oh, I'm going to wait till interest rates come down to a certain level to buy again and all that, and I showed one time a chart where somebody said that, and it was like, I don't know, like 21 years before the rates came down. So, you know, I mean, no one knows, okay, I'm going to wait till the prices come down. Yeah, well, where do you catch it at, you know, and all that. And a lot of my opinion on this show has to do with my personal experience. Okay, I don't mention this every week, you know, but, you know, every now and then I guess I have to. I bought my house, my first house, when interest rates were 18%. Everyone said, don't buy, you're a fool, prices, you know, everything's crashed, it's going to get worse. Why are you paying 18%? Well, it was a house I liked in a neighborhood I wanted. I really wanted that house, and you know what? I could afford the monthly payments, okay? And I knew that rates were going to go down eventually, no way they would stay, and sure enough they did. In a few years I refinanced for like 10% and then on down maybe to 8 or something like that, but I stayed in the house for like 17 years, so I was fine. You got to make that decision too. So see, I'm the wrong person, you know, to try to throw that at, because I lived through it and it was fine. You got to make your own decision as a buyer on what you're going to do, and if you'd like to talk to me about it, we go through all these different scenarios. I don't try to force anybody into anything, okay? And so, you know, I don't know if that's what he was getting at, but I just don't. I just show you and you make your own decision. All right, let's get now to those houses of the week. Okay, here we are, starting off with the house that sold below list price. The house built in 1999, 1,974 square feet, almost an acre of land in Clay County, Florida here. 4 bedroom, 2 bath. All right, let's see what the history is. Okay, as with all these histories I'm going to look at, we start off at the bottom here. This is where they start listing it. Up at the top is the final sold price, and over on the right is days on the market. Over here on the left are the different things that happened, events during that price changes. All right, we see they started off at $520,000, okay? Kept it there for almost a month before they, well, yeah, over a month, until they lowered it to $499,000. After 170 days on the market, they got an offer for $320,000. All right, at that 170 days, they had lowered it to $369,000. So, yeah, this house definitely must have been way overpriced, at least by the buyer standpoint. So that was a huge, huge reduction there in price. Okay, we take a look here to see what it sold for per square foot, and this house then ended up selling for $162 a square foot, which is a pretty good price in today's market. All right, so how much did these people pay for it? Well, they bought it back in 1999, so they've had it for quite a while for $151,200, okay? So they doubled their money there in that amount of time, not counting what they would have put into it in that time also. Next, we're going to look at a house that sold above list price. Okay, built in 2016, 2,926 square feet, good size house in Duval County. All right, this actually is a townhouse, okay? 3 bedrooms, 3 baths. Let's take a look at the history. This one started off at $475,000, okay? After a week, now they had an open house at $475,000, so I don't know, they must have got some activity at that open house, because after the open house, they raised the price to $589,000, okay? Brought it down $575,000 and ended up selling it for $565,000 after 81 days on the market. Now, had those people, you know, bought it back at the open house, okay, they could have got it for $475,000, but no, we're going to wait because prices are going to come down. Well, not in this case. This one here ended up selling for $193 a square foot. When we look at what they paid for it, okay, they bought it back in 2016 and paid $425,000. Next, we're going to look at the condo that sold for below list price. All right, built in 2005, 1,238 square feet. This one here, total stories is 3, so it would be affected by that when it gets to the age requirements. All right, it's in Flagler County, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. All right, when we look over here on the side, let's see what their fees are. Okay. Right here, their monthly association fee is $771 a month. Wow. Okay. To me, that's a lot. All right. I mean, to me, it is. All right. Let's look at the history. Started out at $330,000. Okay. Ended up lowering it at about a month to $319,000. Kept lowering it a while. After 123 days on the market, they got an offer for $265,000. Okay. When it was 123 days on the market, they were selling it for $298,000, okay? These folks too here bought it in 2019, another person buying something in 2019 there, okay? That was the sweet year, what everybody likes, $182,000. I forgot to give the square footage, and the price per square foot for this was $214 a square foot. All right, and if you're out there looking for a house to buy, or you know, whether it's one way below or one above, whatever it is, and you'd like to put me in the mix of your real estate agents as far as you're looking to help you with buying or selling a house here in Northeast Florida, actually, if you want me to write up the contract for you anywhere in the state of Florida, which is actually a good idea, then just give me a call, send me a text at this, or shoot me an email at this email address. Hey, you know what? This is 17 and it is in the can. And until next Sunday's show, I'm out of here.